Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Great, man. Great, great. As always. How about yourself?
Coach, I'm doing absolutely great. Ready to have fun. Anything before we even get started that you had to deal with this week or something that you want to share? I don't put you on the spot. I didn't know if you probably had anything.
Um, not really, man. Anything pop up? No, just smooth sailing. No, just smooth sailing, man.
Okay, that's
Nothing
a good
really,
thing.
yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
thing. Yeah, that's a real good thing. Well, first I'd like to say this right here, man, because we did a video, and like I say, and I always tell everybody, YouTube is not going to move this information. So if we don't help each other, if we don't see fit to like,
Mm.
share, comment on this information, and like I say, we see these titles going all through YouTube. You understand? They popping up, but the algorithm, it'll stop it from moving. It'll stop it from moving. And if we don't move it, if we don't see fit, well, you know what? I know why people need to hear this right here, or you know that people don't want to hear it. That's probably what shit. I know if I send it to someone, so they don't want to hear this.
You don't want to hear.
Yeah. So that's a case as well. But I would tell you like this right here. And I would say that if you want to win in life, I leave it right here, that if you want to win in life, you got to make sure you work on your mental health. I would just leave that right there. If you want to win in life, you're going to have to work on your mental health. And I'm going to tell you this right here. If you want your relationship to be successful, whatever relationship it is, if you want it to be successful, you're going to have to make sure that you have a meeting of the mind, of the
True,
minds. I just
true.
want you to understand a lot of times, especially when you're maturing, it's just like me now. It was a time that I may deal with you on other things or different things, but now I'm strictly dealing with people on their mindset. Strictly.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, strictly. Other things right now in my life, it doesn't mean anything. I don't even conversation with guys. I don't want to sit around and talk about sports. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't care. I'm cordial, but the conversation that you're having, I have no interest in it. So if in a relationship that you're going to be in right now, and you want to make sure that that relationship is going to be successful, if you're maturing, you're gonna have to be mature because if you're not maturing, one thing about mess like mess. So you just got two messy people, y'all good. Believe me. Yeah, y'all good. But if you're working on yourself, if you're working on your foundation, dealing with the mind, the body, and the soul, believe me, it's gonna have to be a meeting of the mind in order for whatever relationship that it's gonna be successful. I want to leave that right there, coach. And just saying you love each other within a relationship. Now we get into the intimacy of male, female, whatever you got a relationship. Listen, it's gonna take more than love. I want you to understand. It's gonna take more than love.
Is there and I'm just judging from what I observed, YouTube, whatever, you different platforms, man. Is there a thing now of authentic love? Or it's just conditional love? Because from what I'm seeing, I'm listening, and I'm talking about both males and females, like, man, we're in bad shape.
Yeah, we're in real bad
We're in
shape.
bad shape, man.
Yeah, we in real bad shape. We in real
Bad
bad
shape.
shape. Yep, that's why if we're
Uh,
not, yeah, if we're not dealing with if we're not meeting at the minds, having something, if we don't have some type of similarities or things in common to connect to that love, I can guarantee you that that won't work. I can promise you that. If you're wondering what's going on with your relationship, and if you basing it on strictly love, then I can guarantee your relationship is in trouble because it's going to take more than just love for a relationship to be successful. And I just want to share
so,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to share that. And another conversation I had this week, and I'm going to say this: always remember that religion is a belief. It's conversation. It's
Mm.
2026. It's 2026, and we still stuck back in the past with that incarcerated mindset that whatever we believe in is the truth, the one that I believe in. I've had a conversation with somebody, they telling me that theirs is the way.
Their way
Yes,
is the way. Well,
their
okay, okay.
their way is the way.
And they got a right to believe that. They got a
Absolutely.
right to believe that.
Absolutely. But when you begin to push that into my life as if the truth, then you're gonna have to move on. Because I respect your belief, but that's your belief. That belief, it doesn't mean that what you believe in is true. Because you have to understand the definition of belief. It means you have just accepted something. That's what it means. And see, a lot of words we use, we don't know the simple basic definition of it. And it simply means that you have just accepted something. So that's just another thing from a conversation, man. And just because you believe it, it doesn't make it true. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. And just because you feel a certain way, just because you feel a certain way, it doesn't mean that your feelings make it true either. Conversation.
Yeah, but it's hard to convince folk otherwise, man,
Yeah.
especially when they're already locked in
Yeah, I moved away.
on that
Yeah,
path.
I moved away from the conversation real quick. So I just had to share them things, some of the things I dealt with this week. So, Coach, after working with children for a very long time, and studying the psyche and the behavior of children, this question came to mind. Do parents dislike for each other hurt their children? Do parents dislike for each other? I just want you to think about that for a second as I break this title down, because when we talk about parents, we're just simply talking about a male and a female having an offspring. When we're talking about parents, so we understand animals can be parents, we understand plants can be parents. So we got the parents part down, just a male and a female and had an offspring. And then when we talk about dislike, here come the dislike part, to feel distasteful, hostility toward, dislike, dislike. And when we look at the word hurt and using it in this topic, we're talking about the cause mental pain or emotional distress. Hmm. It's times, Coach, when parents, they're going to have a disagreement. It's times, but they're two human beings.
True.
You're going to have a
Yep.
disagreement. But however, high levels of conflict and animosity between parents, what it does is, and I've dealt with this for a long time, it places children in a greater risk of developing emotional, social, and behavior problems. Parents, we're gonna have to be very careful, as well as having difficulties with concentration, and a lot of time it affect their educational achievement as well. Parents, we got to be careful, and coach, that's why I always say it takes more than love. Talking about the parents for a relationship to be successful, because I asked once the parents split, what happened to the love? Can you imagine two people being together with intimacy? And I mean, they love that. I mean, oh my God. Oh my God. They acting a fool when they get together. But as soon as they bring that baby into the world, and now whatever happened, they split. And now they can't stand each other. At first, coach, they say that they were so in love. And now I ask you a lot of times that when they split, what happened to the love? I just want somebody to shoot me in the comment and let me know what happened to the love. I just want somebody to talk black to me. That's all. Just shoot me a comment and let me know if you ever dealt with this. Because did you have children too soon or too young? Was that the problem? Was that the problem? Did you have a child too soon or too young? What about not ready to carry that responsibility? And now things are just not the same that you can brought a little one into the world. It was fun when it was just y'all two having fun and doing what you do. Now you can brought a baby into the world and it can cause more of a responsibility that you finding out, no, I ain't ready for this. And now you beginning to spend more time with this person, whether it's the male or the female. And now you finding out, no, I'm finding out some ways I don't like that. I thought
Yeah, but you got to roll with it on account of the young ones are here.
now you got to roll with it.
You got to roll with it. You know what I mean? You don't dislike it. I speak from experience, my personal experience.
Okay.
You don't dislike everything with a person. You know, just certain things how they're moving. You know what I mean, or how they feel the relationship should be. You know, they're trying to pattern it off of someone else's relationship. No, 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 no. We're two separate individuals from them. You know what I mean? What they're doing over there don't mean it will work for us. So what you talking about? You know,
Mm,
I can remember telling my kids, man, they were teenagers. Listen, man, myself and your relationship has nothing to do with my relationship and your mom relationship. It's two separate relationships. You know what I mean?
right.
Can't say I never told you that. So, you know, but it's a combination of things, man.
Mm,
Not having adequate resources to facilitate, the upbringing of your kids the way you think they ought to be. Um, you personally not being in a place or a space in life where you think you should be. You know what I mean? So you got frustration, you got responsibility, and then the other person is looking at you like you're supposed to be a certain uh, place, and you're not there. So you get in that, you know what I mean? That negativism, that pushback is like, damn, man, damn if I do, damn if I don't. But you got to roll with it because the young ones are here. They didn't ask to be here.
mm,
You know what I mean?
mm,
When you roll with that and reach a point in life that, okay, you can still split and do what you got to do because that's the
mm.
best thing. You got to do that.
So I just mentioned maybe having them too young or having them too soon or not ready for that responsibility. So we need to slow down then.
But,
When it
it's
comes to the
easy said and
children.
done, man. I know. You see, like I said, I'm speaking from my experience,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
my life.
Yeah, yeah.
It happened, and all I could do is, okay, I got to keep rolling. But it's
Mm,
two jobs, but sometimes three jobs. I got to keep rolling. You know, I can't think about what it should have been or how I think it should. Nah, I got to keep rolling.
okay.
Um, everybody's not gonna be like that because we all different, individuals, what have you. But fast forward to the day, man. Like I said, cordial. Every Sunday, that's why I hang out with my kids,
Okay.
their mom.
Okay.
Even though they're grown, we look at the ball game, shoot the breeze talk, right? You know what I'm saying? That's my way of tapping in, you know,
Okay.
because I feel as long as you're alive, I don't care how old your kids are, as long as you're alive, they're still your kids, man. You still a parent,
And I'm
you
glad
know?
you said that. I'm glad you
Yeah,
said
you
that.
know.
And coach,
Mhm.
that's one of the biggest reasons I started this program. And the reason I started this program is, of course, now the child is here, but can you imagine, just imagine this, that if you was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just growing up, and someone was there to teach you another way to go. Because
Oh
it's
yeah,
so
man. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
you understand, it's
yeah,
so
yeah,
typical
yeah. I
for us
got
to
you.
do
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
So that's why second nature
Yeah,
for children is so
yeah.
important. I get out and work with children every day because I see the things that has brought so much pain into the black community. To I'm reaching out to these children to let them know, don't do it too soon. This would have happened. Are you with me now? That's why
I got you, but
that
you know what? As just as life and human beings and people are people, like I always say, man, the way I observe and see how people move, less than more would take heed.
Absolutely.
Less than more of them
Absolutely.
will take heed
Absolutely.
because people are
Absolutely.
people. You tell me what to do,
Absolutely.
you
And,
know?
and that's what we and that's the sad part. And it piggys back to when I always tell you, you won't see a change no time soon because now the adults can got to the point where they're not listening. So they're doing what we did. They bringing these young kids in, they're just wilding out. So they're not teaching their children nothing different. So that's how a lot of times the children grow up wilding out until the parents begin to change that mindset so they can begin to teach their children as well as I'm working to teach them the things that we see that causes the problems in the black community that at a young age, if you don't begin to instill other things in them so their trajectory can be different,
Different.
it won't change. So, and then, like I said, we can got to a certain age, especially even at 20 years old, it's hard to make to flip that thing around.
Yeah,
If so, we're in trouble. Our children are in
yeah.
trouble, and that's why, like I say, I'm in there every day with them, trying to show them another way to go, so they can hear something else, letting them know that this right here has caused so many problems in the black community. That's why when we did the video on solutions, I put those solutions down and you just have to go opposite of the problem. If you see we're having children too soon, then that means you need to slow down, have children later. If you know you're not ready for that responsibility, so absolutely, it's going to take time, but that's what we need to be working on, and we're not doing it. And that's why generation of generation, the same thing just keep happening and happening because we're not teaching our children that foundation of the mind, body, and soul, and looking at problems and then teaching them about the solution that'll solve that problem. Because if you don't work on this solution, then you're going to find yourself in the same predicament your mom and dad or I was in, uncle, whatever was in. So that is what's happening.
Mm. Or worse, I'd say worse. Not so
Absolutely.
worse from a financial economic standpoint because, you know, if you run it back 10, 15 years, you want to, might be a little on than that. You know you can find your apartment for $500 a month. You get an apartment.
Right. And
Come out
see,
20, 21 years old, you're gonna get you two jobs put together, a roommate, and get you a spot. Not now. Not now. So you got to see about you, your supposedly significant other, and the baby. Come on now.
so somebody
How
got to be,
many how many grown people gonna want another family under their roof?
that's
Come
crazy.
on now. You
And that's
got to be careful now. It's real, man.
and
So
we got to start sharing that with these children at a very young age to let them know what's around the corner, and we're not doing it. And that's why a lot of our children are going to find themselves in trouble because no one is letting them know what's around that corner. And I ask you this, and I see this all the time as well. What about having children with multiple partners? And now you have a
mm,
dislike, yeah, for
mm,
the one you brought children or a child into the world with. That's absolutely crazy. You got multiple children in different places. And I said, and I've said it in different videos, you can be a good parent and your children still suffer because it takes more than just being a good parent. All of a sudden, okay, I go over here, I pick my children up, we do this, we do that, but you're not understanding. When I told you I studied the psychological part of children as well, that when you take them children back home and you have to lead them, you don't even understand that those children can be feeling that sense of abandonment. Abandonment.
yeah, yeah. I got a early lesson of that, man, because I never liked it. I never liked it because I observed it. My dad was like that. Granted, he was, married to my mom's, whatever. They
Yeah,
had kids all over.
absolutely.
I never wanted that. Never liked that. So I get that. I never wanted that for myself. You
And a
know.
lot of people don't understand that. And you got guys who be patting themselves on the back because they doing something for their children. But you in it now. You in it now. But I can guarantee you, if somebody would have told them when they was younger, hey, slow down. don't put children in multiple places because it's not about you. It's about those children hurting.
Mhm.
It's about those children hurting.
Yeah.
And that really hurts them. And I tell grown folks all the time, tell them all the time, been telling them for years, stop bringing children into y'all's mess. I've been a long time. Stop bringing children into your mess.
They've been listening,
No, no,
but they
no.
can't say no one ever told them. So, hey,
Absolutely. Unless
yeah.
you ready to give up 18 to 21 years of your life and stay with that person so you all can nurture that child or children, don't do it. Stop having them.
Mhm.
Stop it because you're hurting the children.
Yeah.
Your selfish
Right.
ways, our selfish ways are hurting the children. Man, I hope somebody hear this. Somebody got to pad this on. I know we don't want to hear it, but I'm gonna tell it anyway though, because it's the truth.
But I'm noticing, even conversation with folks, they talk about their nieces and nephews. I can even talk about my kids, my son. He always said, man, I know I'm selfish, so I ain't want no kids. I gotta respect that.
You better respect
You
that. You
gotta
better respect
respect
that.
that. You know what I'm saying? I
You
hear folks,
better.
even folks talking about their nieces and nephews. Neither one of them want to have kids. I'm like, I understand because, like I said, you can look at it from the financial, standpoint, the emotional standpoint. You know what I mean? The way things are, man. Like, come on.
If it,
Mm-mm.
that's one of the best. If you're not ready, don't do it. Do not let this society base your life on how it should be or how it should go. Do not do it. So that's absolutely great. And I got to tell parents this right here. You got to stop fighting in front of your children. These are things that I've seen. You got to start fighting in front of your children. Don't use your child or children to express your anger and hostility toward the other parent.
The other parent.
I
I don't even
seen
think
that.
some folks even, well, some people know what they're doing. They know. But some people don't even, I think some people don't even realize, man, the damage they're doing to that young man or that young woman, man. They don't even get it, man.
They don't
They don't
get
even
it,
get
coach.
it.
And they hurting our children. I deal with them every day. And I'm gonna tell you this right here. When a child is placed in the middle of the parents' dispute, watch this right here. It causes that child to have anger, to be stressed, to be depressed, or anxious.
Yeah, yeah. Because they got to choose. They feel they got to choose. I got to choose over here. Them all choose. I got to choose. And then, come on. We know how adults supposed to be adults. A lot of them don't act like adults. Are you going to go want to live with him? And all I've done for you, well, dang. Or you don't want to live with her? All I've done for you, well, God, dang, what I'm supposed to do?
That's
You tell me,
crazy.
make a choice.
That's crazy, coach.
You
Yeah.
know?
They hurting the children, coach.
Yeah,
They
man.
they hurting the children. They don't realize that when they do that, it causes your child to have a poor relationship with the parents, with their peers, and
Mhm.
even as they grow older, coach, if they don't heal from that trauma, because that's a lot of trauma. Oh my God. If they don't heal
Man.
from that trauma, they're gonna take that trauma into their adulthood.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
as adults, we already suffer with a lot of trauma ourselves already. So we got to be very careful that mama, daddy, when you split or when things are not going well with you, you got to make sure that those children don't see or hear you are acting a fool. Because
Cordial,
go
man.
ahead
Gotta be
on.
cordial. You know what I'm saying? Just be cordial, man. It's for the kids' benefit. So y'all never had no real love for each other, man.
Mm, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, we
What
ain't even gotta
happened?
go to love.
What
Y'all never
happened?
had like each other?
What
Y'all
happened?
never like each other? Really? So now we enemies? Really? Come on, man. Come on. We better
Coach,
than that. Ought to be better than that.
Coach, literally, they become enemies.
Come on, man.
Literally, I just want you to think that I've been thinking about that. I've been dealing with this. Literally, the parents, because that's what I'm saying. They have so much dislike for each other. You could never imagine them two being intimate with each other. You got to be kidding me.
So either that or somebody was playing the long game. And
Ah,
I ain't calling no names or anything, but certain stuff that's popping up with marriages in the media, man.
mm,
Nah, there never was no real love there. You were playing the
mm,
long game, and
mm.
now this is your exit strategy. Come on, man. Come on.
Okay,
I've been in this world long enough. There's no way.
okay. Wow.
There's no way, you know.
We
But
heard, we heard, we heard, we heard the
that's where we
children.
at now, man.
We heard them, coach. And this is one thing that really hurt a child or children. When one parent is trying to be the child friend. I've
Yeah,
had this. When one child is
yeah,
trying to be the when one parent is trying to be the child friend and letting them get away with different things and
yeah,
having their way, just go ahead
yeah,
on and
yeah.
do it, go ahead on and do it. Because they know that the other parent is more of the disciplinarian and they know
I've
that
been there. I've been
okay,
there. So I
okay,
know. I
okay,
know, and that's like the straw to blow the camel back. You know what I mean?
okay,
If
okay.
you go into school, if you go into school, school as in college, and you're not doing what you're supposed to do, then you need to just get your butt out. That was my solution. Get a job and then decide what is this you really want to do. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And I was told I was being too harsh.
Yeah.
I said, you know what? You got it. You got it.
Mm,
You know. And believe it or not, years later, thousands of dollars later, I was told that I was right. I don't want to hear that
mm,
because we can't get back that time or that money. I don't want to hear that.
mm,
And then to that same energy, you know, I should have gotten that with I'm right
mm,
in front of them.
mm.
You know what I'm saying? Not like you pull me aside and said, maybe if you talk about it. No, you tell me I'm being too what? So
Especially now if it happened in front of them.
in front of you tell me I'm being
Yeah,
too hard. So you
yeah,
already know I can play her over him, right? Okay.
yeah.
Come on now. I don't
That's
care for
dangerous.
being right. Look, man, come on. Ain't about that who's right. It's about thousands of dollars later, man. Thousands of dollars. Come on now.
Yeah.
But that's life, man. That's life,
I've had that situation with parents and sort of dealing with something like that now with a some parents, man, and their child. And one is trying to get the favor of the child. And
Mm.
it's so disappointing. It's so disappointing to and it's a young man, he's a boy.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
yeah,
got it.
and psychologically he's not doing well. And so
Mm.
yeah. So his father is failing him. Okay. His father is failing him, and his mother is trying to get him help. His mother
Mm.
is trying to get him help. That's how he got to me. Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So now when he don't want to do something, he says, I want to go to my father's house because now his father is saying, you ain't got to go do that. You ain't got to go
Mm.
to no mentoring. Ain't no other man gonna do this. You ain't got to do you and you trying to find favor with him. The mother
Mm.
trying to do the right thing,
Right time.
but you trying to be spiteful to her. You trying to
And
be
yeah, and admits to doing that, you're hurting the child, you know, because having a mentor in the picture is showing him another adult who probably spit in the same, things that both parents or even one parent is spitting. So like, well, dang. they're kind of consistent with it. So maybe there's something in that, and that says a lot about the dad. He's not evolved as a human being. As a man, no, he's not evolving. Nah. You talking about that temporary stuff right there? What can happen to the child in the long run? Because I know you can reach a certain age, you can be like, man, hey, you grown, you need to handle your business. Nah, you already hurt. You already hampering right now, you know.
I'm dealing with that.
So we got to be leery about that, man. For real, man. That's why I said parenting. And I'm saying this: parenting to me is never over because in my 30s, 40s, moving around, traveling, living in different locations, you wish you had somebody you could hit up. Look, man, what you think about ABC? Should I, Nah, I ain't had that. So I can't think about that. I got, hey man, what's the best possible lane? Okay, I gotta go here. Okay, you know. And I want to be that net per se, safety net for my kids that I didn't have. You know what I mean? So that's why I said parents to me never end as long as you're alive. It never ends.
Absolutely. And I feel
You know.
I concur with that as well, with my son and my daughter. I'm always their father, you understand, and I'm there for them. And so, parents, if you can split whatever you grown folk got, y'all go in that room and y'all talk that out. But stop doing everything and saying everything and trying to be spiteful to the other one in front of those children,
Front of kids.
in front of the kids, parents. We got to do better. Do not expose your kids to a lot of mess and a lot of trauma because you don't understand. And a lot of Black parents don't understand the psyche or when their children is experiencing certain things, or they picking up certain things that can bother them for now on. And they can carry that into their adulthood,
And
especially
no, definitely.
you know,
Definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you being abusive to his mother, and then now he grows up, he's being abusive to women, or he has a dislike. The little joker may become a serial killer. I don't know if you ever listen to some of the things that these serial killers went through as little children that made them that switch flips, and they just have a dislike for women. I'm just talking about the man because I've listened to certain serial
I got
killers,
you. Yeah,
and of
yeah.
and of and of course, I ministered to killers for 22 years. Well, I've literally able to sit down with them and get their psyche, and it really for them to explain to me psychologically what in the world was going on. You flipping that switch because now you and I sitting here talking the things that they have you down for. I don't see it. You see, like you and I sitting here talking, and coach, you can kill 25 people, but you and I sitting here talking now, I would never,
Talking.
you understand? So it's a switch that's flipping to make them do what they're doing. And that comes from that mental state. So your mental state, I'm telling everybody that, and I'm gonna continue to push it because I got to push it. Everything starts from your mental state. Everything starts from your mental state. Everything starts from you. If you want to get to the point in life where your life becomes peaceful, then you got to build that foundation because a lot of us, our foundation is so we don't have one when it comes to the mind, the body, and the soul. We don't have one. So we got to make sure that we build that foundation. And I just say this right here, parents, we got to do better, and we got to stop being so selfish, and we got to put our children first. And for people who haven't had children yet, don't. If you're not ready, don't. It's okay. Don't let society, mama, daddy, grandma, girl, why you ain't had no baby yet? But boy, why you ain't with dude? Not let society push you into something you know you're not ready for to make your life literally miserable.
Yeah.
So I just say, parents, let's do better. And especially let's do better for our children because, like I say, what happened to the love, and that dislike that you have for him and her? Hey, when it comes to that child, y'all gonna have to just work that out, please. Because I work with too many children who's dealing with a lot of trauma, man. I'm talking about you can grab a child and literally, and they can just start crying, coach, just out of nowhere because of what they going through at home. So parents, let's do better by our children. Let's do better by our children, coach. I'm done with that. I'm gonna leave that right there. It's 4 minutes left, coach. You can do with it whatever you want to do with it.
Um, I know I always say as long as I've been in this world, man, as a child, I observed the conflict with my parents.
Mm,
And as a teenager, I tell us, man, the best thing y'all can do is split.
mm, mm,
Because y'all not, making situation better. The best thing y'all can do is split. And eventually they split.
mm,
You know, I told my dad had kids all over, so I never wanted that for myself, man. And I'm glad that, I stuck to that. It's more than just taking a kid to school or putting a roof over their head, closing their back,
mm.
and you know,
Yeah.
taking them to a park, man. It's more than that.
Mm,
You know, you got a great effect on what that individual is going to eventually become, him or her. So you got to keep that in mind. I know because of life, because of you going through what you're going through, trying to live, trying to do whatever, you don't even think of it like that. But you got to think in a broader scope of things, man. You're raising a child who's going to eventually be a child or children who's going to eventually be adults. You know, what kind of adult you want them to be?
mm,
You know, once you think about it like that, you be like, no, I need to tighten up. You know what I mean? There's no excuse to say, well, I wasn't ready. It's too late. They're already
mm,
here. You gotta, push that aside. Just don't have it anymore. How about that? I make this one, give this one the best opportunity to be the best adult possible. You know what I mean? But look at the broader scope of things, man. Not just look at that child as a child. What kind of adult you trying to raise them to be?
mm,
You know, and go
mm,
for that, man.
mm.
Go for that. That's what I can tell you, man. That's what I got for you. So
Well, Coach, we're gonna leave it right there, and hopefully, and I use the word hope because we are working on something. Hopefully, they take heed to the information, Coach. That was a great show, Coach. I appreciate you for that. And until we come together again, I'll holler at you.
same here, man. Take care.